Shalom, shalom. Back at you with another one. Giving all praises to Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai Bashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors and salutations to the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone, and the elder bishops, as well as the hopeful elect out there, man. Beautiful times. Goodness gracious. And literally, I just seen some beauty walk by. Goodness gracious. Bahashem Rakakwadash. The Holy Spirit is where we function out of, all right? Over here at Great Millstone, the apostles, the elders, you know, the men of the Lord. Okay, the men of the Lord. I'm going to say it again. The prophets, the men of the Lord. You know, the Spirit is speaking expressly through the men of the Lord. Okay, the watchmen of Zion, the watchmen of the true biblical Israelites, which you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right, as well as the Israelite foreigner Gentiles that might look like the heathen nations. Okay, I'm going to go right into it because, you know, shit is getting jumped off. You heard me? See, man, I'm gonna keep it real. I be depressed, man. Outside of the truth, you know, the flesh is weak, but the spirit is willing. I be depressed when it ain't no action taking place, man. I wanted to get the fuck out of here, man. You know, I'm not taking no bribes. I don't want nothing. I don't want no fucking wife here, man. You know, I don't want no goddamn job here, man. I don't want to keep another Passover in fucking slavery, man. I don't want to keep a high holy day in slavery. We ain't even able to really serve the Lord like we supposed to. Luke, the first chapter, 67th verse, man. The Lord got to bring us home so we can worship him in spirit and truth, for real, for real. But let me get this, man. This is Habakkuk 2 and 3. Habakkuk 2 and 3. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. You know, for the vision is for appointed time. So you people are not spiritually discerning the times. Okay? You think you got 50 years left. You think you got another generation left. You think you got another 100 years. No. Okay, you don't even have 5 years left. All right? The Lord getting ready to get us up out of here, man. It says, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry. And we're at the end. All right. How do I know that? Prophecy. See, these niggas making it so much more complicated. Niggas want to be the Power Rangers, Ninja Turtles. We that anyway. Them cartoons, them movies is written about us, the X-Men. For right now, though, we set up to break down these scriptures to the elect of our people, man. So that they can be confident and understand what's their reward as well. All right. For biting down and weathering these storms, bro. Because righteousness is a beautiful gem in a wicked, evil world, all right, that doesn't see its beauty. You got to maintain that, all right? Okay, now let me get, because I know brothers been bringing this out, but I'm going to bring it from another end, from another interpretation through the spirit. Because we sift everything through the spirit. What's going on in the earth, the news, all this shit. That's why the scriptures say we're not ignorant of Satan's devices. You can't deceive us. You can't bring out a false flag, a theory, a doctrine, and we just jump on it. No, we're going to go to the scriptures. What the scriptures say. And see, Babylon the Great, we're going to get into Jeremiah 51. Okay? AKA America is doing nothing but drawing out, okay, itself, okay, into more seclusion. All right, as the prophecies state in Revelation, the 17th chapter, how America is going to be, okay, hit with nuclear missiles from all sides, even its own allies, from Russia and all its allies and America's actual allies. That's why you see all this tension. In this Venezuela thing, unless you know biblical prophecy, you just going to think, oh, man, the world about to end, World War III, Russia's backing. You know, no, it's just setting the stage, man. Setting the stage for the nations to hate the whore. All right, America is the whore that sat upon many nations and made them drink of her wine, her philosophy, her fornication. All of these different ideologies, Christianity, democracy, Hollywood, and so many destructive doctrines that seem appeasing to the ear, but they're like venom. It's a slow kill. And these nations are angry now. All right. And this, what they just did in Venezuela, let's play the video real quick. Let's go and get that video out the way. That's what I meant to do. I'm so charged up about, because, man, I got to see shit moving, bro. The scriptures say that hope deferred maketh the heart sick, man. Let's get this cracking, bro. I'm ready to get out of here. We ain't living yet. Okay? I'm not trying to age in no fucking foreign land. I'm not trying to age over here, man. I'm trying to get the fuck out of here. I want spiritual power in my youth, man. And it ain't about me. Really, Yahweh Shai got to get he got to get the first lick. He been waiting to get his vengeance, man. Yahweh Shai got to get it. So the Lord is speeding this thing up, man. Okay? The Lord is speeding this thing up. Scriptures speak about how the Lord can't wait to give us the kingdom, bruh. But he ain't gonna set up no spoiled babies, brats, backbiters, and unloyal fucking Judas goats, man. Because a lot of you niggas, that's what you own, man. The Lord ain't gonna set up niggas with character flaws. Now, the Lord's gonna do the heavy lifting, but there's a certain part of refinery, purity, okay, we're gonna have to enter into these new bodies with, man. And that's gonna come through subjecting ourselves to the correction, all right, the strong arm of Yahweh Shai, man, which is gonna bring good and evil, man. Okay? One second, let me cut this off this here. Now, this is a Copyright Act, you know. I'm not making any dividends off of this, strictly for edification. All right? Let me cut off these doggone earphones, man. I'm sick of this shit, man. I'm tired of the gaslighting. You know, ain't nothing pure here, man. Scriptures say it. It say that this thing is temporal. This place is defiled, man. Everything. And if how I want to live, bro, I don't want no cap on how many children I can have, how many wives. I got a bite on my tongue around these hoes. I want to be me. I want to tell your ass to shut the fuck up and sit down. Shut the hell up and sit down, man. Because I'm going to tell you that in righteousness, man. You got to tiptoe around the earth. Man, this is crazy, bro. Let's get this video, man.
Chanley Painter, and we have the latest news. The White House confirming, according to sources, that the United States is attacking Venezuela in a military operation in these early morning hours.
Salaki, let me just correct what I was saying. I'd rather see my people dwelling in righteousness. I want to see my people all righteous, man. Look at this fucking clown. You got niggas spying on you all day, pulling up to watch you for a second. And then they speed off. And that shit happening all around me all day. Can't have no peace here, man. But ultimately, we want to see our people dwell in righteousness, man. Okay? We ain't gonna have to tell each other shut up and sit down. But right now, everything is upside down, man. Okay? Well, I don't even have to speak about it, bro. All right? But yeah, let's play this.
This is breaking news. Please share. We have reports of ongoing airstrikes in Venezuela. U.S. Army attack helicopters are seen hovering over the city. There are unconfirmed reports that these are Apache attack helicopters and Chinook transport helicopters. If that's the case, then these are for frontal attack and moving soldiers and equipment. Additional footage shows bombings and fires throughout the city. The next images are disturbing. This shows large ordnance being deployed in major city centers and not in the outlying area. Meanwhile, we also have reports of mobilization of the Venezuelan Air Force. Other than Caracas, it also appears that there are ongoing airstrikes against the Venezuelan Air Force, specifically El Libertador Air Base. This is a dynamic and ongoing situation. I will keep my eyes on this. Please share this information to get the word.
I like the white girl.
Make an ongoing situation. I will keep my eyes on this. Please share this information to get the word out.
Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8.
All right. So let's get straight to the prophecy. Okay? Skip the bullshit. Skip the fucking 30-minute speech nigga want to give you and all of that shit. Let's get straight to what's actually going on, man. In the end, these prophecies going to speak. You got to look at the prophecies because the people that rule this world, they know that the prophets of the Lord are here. They know. That's why they're getting ready to take out free speech. All of that is really aimed at the prophets that are all around the world speaking the truth. And then among the prophets, you have many false prophets, many false Hebrew Israelite camps, compromised agents and all of that stuff among this thing, okay? All right? So let's get Joel 3, man. For behold, in those days and in that time, when I shall bring again the captivity of Judah and Jerusalem. And all of these prophecies are leading to Judah and Jerusalem, which represents the northern and southern kingdom of the true biblical bloodline Israelites, not them fake imposters over there. Okay, the true bloodline, the 12 tribes scattered abroad the earth, okay, are in captivity, whatever nation they're in, under those particular heathens. And among those nations, you're going to have these same people that look like those nations, because if you live among a nation, eventually the men of Israel are going to breed with those nations. Okay, so the children are going to look like those nations, but you are who your father is according to your nationality and your spirit, which makes your nation. Every nation has a different spirit, just like the bird kingdom, okay, the fish kingdom, all right, the dog kingdom, okay. It says, because, you know, Babylon the Great gonna get themselves blown off the map. All right, and Yahweh Shai is gonna come, who you ignorantly call Jesus Christ, to come deliver his elect before they, you know, as everybody else is being destroyed. I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat. Now, over there in the Middle East, okay, they locked and loaded over there. You got all the turmoil, you got all of these contentions, so-called the Hamas, the damn Houthis, the goddamn the dragons of Arabia, all the Ishmaelites. You got Esau, Amalek over there. He ready to war, okay, which are the small hats. You'll hear me call these people by their true nationality according to the Bible: Amalek, the Amalekites, the small hats, which they're Edomites, so-called white men. Okay. All right, so the Lord is causing more tension, because anything can pop off. All right, but we know that first the MOTB got to be pushed, so we know that that's close. And the nature of how they have to push these things, man, when they get it started, they got to move fast. Okay, because these people know that their kingdom is falling, and you have to be very precise and quick when you're trying to assert authority and dominion, and they want everlasting dominion, which is not in the prophecy. That everlasting dominion goes to God's people, man. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai's people, man. And I will plead with them there for my people, for my heritage Israel, whom they have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Yeah, so our enemies have parted our land, and they have cast lots for my people and given a boy for a heart and sold a girl. Slavery in the auctioning block. That's what that's going into. But let me skip 5. Because ye have taken my silver and gold and carried it into your temples, my goodly things. And this is a parabolic. It's talking about God's people, the Israelites, who the world calls insignificant, where the Lord loves his people, his badass people. But guess what? He's chosen a remnant, elect, a few, which this time around, he's going to let these nations get to 2/3 of our people, because they're compromised. They're living as heathen, and they don't want to return back to the Lord. But let's get to this, because I'm about to get into the point. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. This is 9. Prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the mighty men of war draw near. Let them come up. You got to remember that Russia, okay, I believe China, some of these countries have interests with Venezuela. Okay. They're in league with Venezuela. So I'm going to read Jeremiah 51 next, because it's setting the stage for these nations to surround America closer and closer. Just like America has stationary military ramparts all around the world in these other countries, so that if war jump off, they're closer to those land masses and they can deploy their missiles and deploy the sword. Okay, it's same. And you got to remember, these nations are all in league. Okay, the elites of these nations. So it's all staged. This whole MOTB, the mark of the beast, is going to be a worldwide thing, just like the COVID. So they're just moving chess pieces, but this is the Most High moving the chess pieces. Okay, we talk to you in a mankind standard as men to get you to understand, but it's really Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. That's why these things are already written. Okay, it says Yeah, let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Yeah, so the weak are being given a battery, okay, charge in their back to say, you know what, enough. We are strong. Okay? We got to do something against Babylon the Great. Prepare for war. Wake up the mighty men. Okay, we have missiles now too. Missile technology. That's why the weak are saying they're strong. Everybody's choosing sides of what major power, whether it's Babylon the Great or Russia, which Russia is the next superpower in Ezekiel 38 that's going to shoot missiles on this place. Everybody's seeking to get some type of missile technology, nuclear missile technology, so that they can say they're strong. Now let's get, and this is it. We're going to end it with Jeremiah 51. I just wanted to be real short on this. Thus saith the Lord, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them. Yeah, the people as well. All you people gonna get caught up in this. That rise up against me a destroying wind. That nuclear thermal winds. And see, you people, the only reason why you still alive is because the elect is being sealed right now. Okay, you idiots are insane. You're doing the same shit. You're out here in a time that you should really be coming together, being very precise on your financial and stuff like that, on your health. You're out here spending all this money on brand new cars, still in that dumbass mindset, that vanity, decadence mindset. Okay, especially you dumbass women. Okay, the way you people living is not sustainable anyway. So it only makes sense that the Lord getting ready to take you out. Okay, you're out of your mind. You're doing the same shit and it don't work. Nobody's willing to break the cycle and just do a little bit of thinking. It don't take too much to come together, but that's not in the prophecy, man. Babylon cannot be saved, okay? It says, and against them that dwell in the midst, I would raise up a destroying wind, and that links up with Revelation 7. Okay, where it speaks about the destruction being held back until the servants of the Lord, his elect, are sealed in their foreheads. And the servants of the Lord would know these prophecies. They'll be able to break these scriptures down so that they can know what they have faith in. And they can build upon that. And have deep roots and won't be swept away when the storms come, man. Let him that hath ears speak, hear, and him that hath eye to see, let him see. Okay, this is the point. I will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her and shall empty her land. Speaking about these nations that are going to fan the destruction of Babylon. Now, with this whole thing with Venezuela, okay, any geopolitical move can hike in gas prices. It can cause some type of proxy, okay, which can cause the lights to go out, which, okay, they've already brought you the stats how many millions of people would die if the electric grid go out, especially in the winter. Okay, they could be preparing to launch tactical missiles, because see, the nukes are the icing on the cake, but that don't leave the they got a bomb called Moab, which is one of the strongest, and they dropped one, I believe that was in Lebanon or Beirut a couple years ago. All right, it'll only do so much destruction, but it'll do a lot of destruction though. Cut this on so my battery don't die. Okay, they could be setting up for that. They can blame Russia, Venezuela. They could blame anybody. They could do a drone attack. Life as we know can change, and that's that fanning, man. But also, okay, they show you in these movies, all right, and in the prophecies, there's going to come a time when these foreign troops are going to be on American soil. And that's going to spell destruction for you people. So your government has already deemed the American people enemies of the state, so they're letting you just go ahead and have this bread and circus on the way out, making things appear to be normal because they have the power to do so up until that point where they're ready to let this thing go out and massively force push that MOTB on you, which is a death sentence, according to biblical prophecy. But the hopeful elect will set themselves apart and not take that and rather face death. And the Lord's going to be with us all the way through, man. Okay, another topic for another time, but it says, for in that day trouble shall be against her round about. Now, Russia and all these countries on the other side of the globe, but all right, with this situation in Venezuela, these countries are going to move in closer and closer. as if they're not already close, okay? You got multiple videos coming up showing you how Russia is on certain border coasts of Babylon the Great. They're boldly, making themselves known in different parts of the earth against American vessels, okay? Which proves the weak are saying them strong, because in times past they wouldn't. So this is how close we are, all right, to things going in our favor. See, things are getting ready to move in our favor, the elect, and out of the favor of you everyday people, which your everyday life, okay? You pretty much in a YOLO spirit. You only live once, do what you want. The Lord has allowed that, but now that's getting ready to be disallowed, okay? And we're going to reap the benefit of our discipline, okay? Living in this world full of pleasure. And we're actually going to be granted pleasures beyond this imagination, bruh. Okay, real soon. It says, against him, okay? And another thing about fanning, right? What happens when you add air, oxygen to fire? It gets bigger. You see? So the third verse is talking about how these, send fanners to Babylon. You had all these immigrants come up over here. All right. But that can apply to anything. Anything that can bring Babylon the Great down any more than it's already going down. And that's why I said you people are absolutely insane, because the way a lot of you people are living is nothing's happening, man. You got men and women women, they still don't want to get up with men and be women and be feminine and get back to family core values. They don't want that. Okay, so this war, this economic fall, which is geopolitical, they're making it that way. It's really these devils. Okay, it's going to bring more fanning to the situation. It's going to get worse to the point, the scriptures say the grooms, all right, most of you men, you're going to die in these wars that happen on American soil. Some of you going to get sent off into war. You're going to get drafted. And then the women are going to become widows. Okay, so everything that's an underlying problem right now is just going to get worse. You feel me? It says, against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow. And against him that lifteth up the brigandine. Yeah, what is the modern day archer, the modern day bow? The missile. It's just a revised version of, okay, a missile with which is a fuel and fire projectile. Isaiah the 9th chapter speaks about that. You don't need somebody to, bend the bow anymore. Okay, it says, and against him that lifteth up the brigandine, and spare ye not her young men, and destroy ye utterly all her hosts, her armies. And we already know that these other countries, when it comes to guerrilla warfare, the American army is not ready for that. That's why America is known for its air power superiority, not for its, okay? Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Deliver every man his soul. What's going on? This is the 6th verse. Okay? What's going on around America right now? All of these people, you see it all over the internet. You need to leave America now while you can. Okay? But right here, this is talking about deliver your soul. Forget about it. America's through. Don't have no hope here, because if you're spiritually attached to this place, it's going to destroy you. Every dent in crack that this place develops is going to put a dent in you. Okay? That it says, be not cut off in her iniquity. Yeah, because this place is going to be judged according to its iniquity, even its old iniquities, slavery and stuff like that. For this is the time of the Lord Yahweh's vengeance. See that? He will render unto her a recompense. You see? So this is the way the Lord is going to bring this place down, just like he brought down any other kingdom that his people were in. And you people don't believe in the Bible, so hey, you in for some surprises, man, of how the Lord going to show you through his judgments, as the scriptures say, how he gets down, who he actually is. And he's not no fucking Santa Claus looking Kris Kringle type nigga that's rubbing his belly and laughing all day. Okay? He's also known as Alashaja, a great, terrible like power, man. All right? It says, Babylon hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand. Yeah, at once this place was the beacon of the world, man. Okay? Now it's just being diminished. That's what this war is a part of, too. There's so many folds. The scriptures say the wicked have many trains. They got many options, paths of wickedness they can go down. And then they just deceive the people, and they move closer and closer to their own agenda, to their solution, which is more oppression, more control, you know, more resources. They want everything. They don't want to leave not even 1% to nobody else. Okay? Book of Obadiah tells you that. Why you niggas around here clueless, arguing, and that civil war is coming. Because you people are clueless. That's going to be another way the Lord going to take out a lot of you people, man. Okay? So a lot of you people, as the scriptures say, you're going to perish in your ignorance, man. Because this truth is only a gift to the elect. All right? We know what's coming to us, so we hasten the day that this shit be destroyed. It says, where was I at? Yeah. Babylon hath been America. Babylon the Great hath been a golden cup in the Lord's hand, and maketh all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine, her philosophy. Therefore, the nations are mad. And at one point, everybody listened to Babylon. It didn't matter what it was. Now, all these nations see the repercussions after years went by. All of these nations that, and I'm going to give one example, that are in bed with America, okay? All of their women are feminists now, and sluts and whores. Okay? And that destroys any nation when the women are out of pocket, because both parties, the men and women, have equal value but different attributes. Because you need a man and a woman. Even though the man's value is even higher in the realm of men, it's still, you know, it's equal on that level, but we're not equal. Okay? When it comes to mentally, physically, and spiritually, you know. It says, so that's a very big, that's what you call waging war from the inside out. All right, so the Lord is bringing fanners to Babylon to bring this place down. Look at the money system. What have they been talking about? The petrodollar, you know, the other nations are not using the American, you know, U.S. standard petrodollar, you know, which kept the dollar pretty much the world's, you know, currency. Now they're all, you know, stacking up on their own digital currency, which is all leading to the MOTB. Okay, that's sending fanners on. Okay, the fire. That's adding more fire to the flame, and fire in the Bible is synonymous with adversities. It says, for her judgment reacheth unto the heavens and is lifted up to the skies. Yeah, the wickedness of Babylon has exceeded its limits. And this is what the Most High wanted for this place. Okay, he wanted you to forget about him and think that he was this nice guy that was with America. This is what the Most High wanted you people to think. Scriptures speak about how, you know, the Lord would raise the pride of Pharaoh. And now, see, this is the time where the Lord is going to get busy, because now everything is in place. People are proud. They think they can't be touched. Okay, everybody's all in one mind, one spirit, one gathering to be destroyed, ripe for the picking. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yeah, all of your military stuff. The Lord hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes. Yeah, the Russians, for his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of the Lord. Okay, the vengeance of his temple. You see that? So all of these little micro moves, these little proxies, are bringing these nations to surround Babylon closer and closer, even if not physically, which it is going to be physically, and it is physically. More so, okay, the focus is on Babylon to be, we need to do something to get this place Babylon up out of here as a world power. Okay? And ultimately, it's going to be those missiles. All right? It says, make bright the arrow. It says, set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon. That's the prophet. So we're setting up the standard of what it is. Okay? Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay? All right, where's we at? So set up the standard. Yeah, make the watch strong. That's what I told you we're here to do. We're not here to act like, okay, Marvel Comics yet. That's going to be a part of our blessing, you know. And blessing means to be bowed down to. Our obedience got to be fulfilled first. But we got two more major tests. Jacob's trouble, okay, which is going to be the MOTB, the mark of the beast, denying that, and also the persecution. All we got to do is weather through that, man. That's why I spoke of having deep roots. The only thing important right now is that your roots are deep, that you don't get swept away, man. So whatever weaknesses you got, whatever you got going on in your life that's kind of, you know, disrupting All right, it's up to you to get rid of it or put it on the back burner. Okay? It's a set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes. You people are being walked into ambushes, man. Not understanding that every time the prophets speak, okay, they're setting up an ambush. Every time you say nah, or you talk shit, or I don't believe that, or I'll wait to see, or those guys are crazy, whatever, bro, you just setting up an ambush, man. And the Lord really ain't got to get you people right now, because the Lord has, where is that? Isaiah 24 talks about the pit, the fear, the pit, and the snare. A lot of you going to fall in the pit, but a lot of you going to be brought into the snare, all right, of the heavens being opened up and the missiles raining down. Okay? All right? Through fear. Okay? Your government, the so-called white man, is going to use fear tactics to make you fear him, his policies, his system more than you fear the Most High. So you're going to go ahead and do the bidding of Satan one final time and mark yourself for destruction. Okay? For the Lord Yahweh hath both devised. See, the Lord devised this. The same way the devil's devising everything. Got you questioning yourself, got you confused. Okay, got you rather join them than to fight them. Well, the Lord is setting up devices. Spirit, and see, this is spiritual, so you ain't gotta see it as real. See, that's the strong point of the Lord. Okay, He got it right in your face, but it's still secret. And you know secrecy is powerful, because look at the elite of this world, how they've been ruling secrecy. And it's only because of biblical prophecy. The Lord said before his coming, he was going to expose, lift up the skirt on these demons, who they really are. Okay. It says, the Lord Yahweh hath both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Little do you people know that everything that's happening in society, you know, all the way up until the prophets being on the internet. Okay, the divisions, the Democratic, the Republican Party, economic, failure, cashless societies, people being smitten with madness, just walking around like zombies. All of this is prophetical. Okay? But if you listen to the media or you listen to your leaders, they're going to try to control the narrative and steer it in a way where these things are not of biblical epic proportion. That is just, they know what's going on. And then these guys that speaking of these things are crazy, because you people don't hold the Bible to value. And little do you know, the super elite, they know the Bible's real. They know the name of the Most High Yahweh. They know that we're the people. They know that they have to try to upset prophecy, which is impossible. But they was hoping this day never came, which proved they know, which is another topic for another time. We got many receipts that they know. That's why they've indoctrinated the average person, to just be a work slave and a zombie and not question nothing. Because it's more profitable that you in that spirit than to question them, because you can't be controlled once you understand the right hand of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and the power behind it, man. And his people, man. You couldn't look down at his people, man. You couldn't capitalize off of his people, man. It says, O thou that dwellest among many waters, meaning nations and people, abundant in treasures, thine end is come. Abundant in treasures. Even America, shit, they just spend just recklessly. Now it's getting to the point where the debt is so high they can't just spend anywhere. It got to go to war or go overseas or go to whoever, is running the place. They can't afford to take care of the people anymore, because the end is come. All right, the money's not backed by anything. These nations are getting nasty with Babylon the Great, so they can't just go over and steal resources like they want to. Like this Venezuela thing, they just did what they did, but we'll see the repercussions later. See, there was a time when there was no repercussion, but the weak are saying I'm strong. Thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. See, the measure of thy covetousness. Covetousness is like you just want what everybody got. Babylon the Great ain't really been doing that like they used to do it. They went into the Middle East, got their asses handed to them, had to come back. Okay, they didn't really get nothing. They want to assert that dominance. Okay. It says, the Lord Yahweh of armies hath sworn by himself, which proves that's his title, the Lord of armies. The Lord controls these world armies, and who wins, okay, who becomes victor, what nation rises up, what nation falls, when it falls. Okay, because that's what he does. He builds up armies. And it's also a sifting to let these nations have a time to rule. Daniel's the 2nd chapter, all the nations on the earth. But that time is up. Now it's time for Yahweh Shai, okay, the Son of the Most High, to be set up over the earth, one that is profitable. So now the earth can dwell in, because the earth was created to be a paradise. Okay? For men. All right? And the creatures on it. And now it's just a prison where women and the most evil people on the earth are ruling over the average men, okay, in wickedness. You see that? It says, the Lord Yahweh of armies hath sworn by himself, surely I will fill thee with men, yet men, as with caterpillars, because when you set caterpillars among your vegetation, they eat it up. I mean, you could apply that to these immigrants, these foreigners, these foreign militias that's here, these foreign mercenaries that's here, that they're not telling you about, that's going to come out during the time of martial law and civil unrest. Okay? And what's the big thing now? Deportation, because the economy is too stressed off of immigrants using up the resources, which, okay, is a lie. And it's partially true. You know? It says, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. Yeah, you American people, okay, you're going to be moved out of the way by these people, man. The men of Babylon shall be as women, as it says in Isaiah, the 13th chapter. So that's about it, man. Okay, there's a lot more, but we're going to end it right there. Shalom.